Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jen Felton, Director of Operations here at GoldenCare, and I'm pleased to be with you all today to demonstrate the Mutual of Omaha Long-Term Care e-application. Before we get started, though, I just want to point out that our agent website is goldencareagent.com. There you will find tools and resources that GoldenCare offers to help agents be more successful out there in the field. I encourage you to check it out when you have some time. Today, though, I'm going to present the Mutual of Omaha Long-Term Care electronic application, and I'm going to do a live demonstration of it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, though, that you need to do is be a licensed appointed agent with Mutual of Omaha. If you're not already appointed with Mutual of Omaha or you're appointed through us, that's great. But we can definitely get you appointed if you need to be. Give us a call here at 800-842-7799, and we can go ahead and get you appointed for the LTC product. But with that, though, once you do get appointed and have that individual agent writing number, you need to go to the sales professional access. And how you do that for Mutual of Omaha is just go to mutualofomaha.com. Then over on the right-hand side, look for something that says sign in. Go to sign in and then go to sales professional login. So the sales professional here will take you right to the agent login site where you can access the individual e-application. So with this, once you do have that account set up, go ahead and type in your information. Now, if you do not have an account or you're newly appointed agent, all you have to do is go down here to don't have an account, sign up, and that will get you on your way to setting up the sales professional access site. So once you're logged in, though, you go ahead and click on sign in, and that will bring you to the dashboard page of the Mutual of Omaha website. Here you can see right on the top, there's all the products that Mutual of Omaha has to offer, the sales and marketing, reports, training and compliance, and so on. Now, the first way you can get to the electronic applications is go on the top here to sales and marketing, and then you'll see over on the right-hand side, there's electronic applications. But Mutual of Omaha has also done a great job on their dashboard, and you can see straight down underneath your name, there's a spot that's called Sales Tools, and right up on top is the electronic application. So you can simply click that quick link and get you right to the application section. Now, Mutual of Omaha actually offers several applications or electronic applications for many of their products. You can see Medicare supplements, dental, life, of course, long-term care, disability income, and critical illness as well. So lots of different opportunities to write e-applications with Mutual of Omaha, but today we're going to be specifically talking about the long-term care e-application. Now, when you're live with a client, you want to click on this big blue button here, Start or Continue an e-application. Now, for our purposes today, though, we're going to take a look at the sandbox. Now, the sandbox is exactly identical to this Start Live blue button here, but because we don't have an actual physical client, we're going to want to practice in the sandbox first. And this is a great opportunity for you to get very familiar with the e-app process just by going in the sandbox and playing around. So this is going to be absolutely identical to what you see when you go live by hitting that big blue button. So once you get into the application, you can either start a brand new application or you can view applications. Now, if you view applications, you can see all the applications that you've previously started and begun. But if you see in this list that this person is a brand new, all you have to do is click on Start Application, and then you can start a brand new app. Now, this is the first screen that you're going to see when you get to do an application. And the first thing you need to do is choose your commission code. Mine is 6Q, so I'm going to leave that where it is. Some of you might have some additional ones. Just make sure, depending on what marketer you might be writing under, that you choose the correct commission code. The next thing here is just clicking your client's resident state, not your resident state. We know we have a lot of agents that write business over the webinar and do join me's and things like that. With the electronic application. So just make sure that you're choosing the application for wherever state that your client resides. Then all you have to do is click on Start Application to get started. However, because we're short on time as far as doing a webinar presentation, I have some of the information filled out already. And so I'm going to click back to View Applications, and I'm going to see here I've got Polly Holder here, and my application is incomplete. Now, to get her a complete application, all you need to do is click on View, and then it's going to bring up that application's information. So down here underneath the action spots, you can actually view a PDF copy of the application, or you can go in and edit, which is what we're going to do today because we've already started this application. Now, this is exactly, even the very first time that you go into the electronic application, this is what you're going to see. All this yellow, lovely yellow, right? So once you start filling out the application, the yellow goes away to know that you've already taken care of that section of the application. Now, one thing that's not yellow is this premium section here. You don't have to fill that in, but they recommend, if your client's paying monthly or how much a year or any other mode, just put in their per month or their per year premium, and then you can go ahead and move along your way as well. But this here is the next section of the disclosure section. Now, some people don't choose to fill out a personal worksheet. However, if you do choose to not complete that, the company will mail you out or mail your clients out a letter that could delay handling because your clients are going to actually have to fill that out and sign it and send it in directly to Mutual of Omaha. So we always encourage agents to go ahead and fill out that personal worksheet right from the get-go. So once you do that, you can see a bunch of additional questions popped up. If I take that away, those go away. But again, we recommend you fill out that full personal worksheet. So here's just some easy suitability questions. How are you going to pay for your premium each year? Can you afford whether the policy premiums go up? It's just those basic types of questions. And I'm not going to read all of these to you. But again, as you're sitting down in front of a client, you're going to answer these questions just as you go along. So here, the elimination period, standard elimination period that most people sell is 90 days, and they just want an approximate cost. So, if you're selling a client $5,000 monthly benefit, you can take $5,000 times 3 for that 9-month period, and it'd be $15,000 would be the approximate cost that they'd have to cover for that elimination period. The next part here is how we're going to pay for that. Maybe they're going to pay from their savings and investments. Then you just continue on to go through the application, and once you get all the questions answered, you click on Next. You can see over on the right-hand side that now the personal worksheet has turned to white. That means you've completed that section and you can move along to the next section. So here you can see I filled out or pre-filled out a bunch of information that I already knew about the client, which you can do as well, and take care of their address, maybe their phone numbers. Then anything that you have left, you can continue to ask them about their information here. And now we have that second section filled out as well. Here's the allowances section on the application. Do you have a partner, yes or no? If you say yes, then additional questions are going to pop up and say, is he or she also applying for coverage? Nope, not in this case. And do they already have an existing Mutual of Omaha long-term care? If they do, then it's going to pop up some additional information. They're going to want that policy number. But if they don't, then just check no, and you can go on. The next two questions are you a part of a sponsored association group, yes or no? And applicant B, yes or no. And that's because you had a policy or you had a partner, and so they want to know if they had a sponsored group as well. Same goes with an employer allowance. If you don't have that, you mark that as well. And again, we've completed the third section in the e-application. So the next questions here are replacement coverage. Again, you're just going to go through and answer the questions as you're talking to your clients. And depending on how you answer the questions, it's going to determine if additional information pops up or is needed. So now we get to the health insurability questions. This first set of questions here, if you answer yes to any of these questions, it is an automatic decline. So they say do not continue on with the application. Don't waste your time because it will be immediately kicked out as a field decline. So as you're going through all these questions, hopefully you've got a client here that can answer no to all of these initial knockout questions. With that, then we have our primary physician information. I've kind of pre-filled some out here, but they always want to know when the date of your last visit was, and hopefully it was within the last 2 years. And whatever it might be, if it was an exam or even a cold or whatever it was, that's the reason that you're putting there. Now, they also want to make sure that your clients have had a basic metabolic chemistry panel, which is a complete metabolic profile blood work, and that has to be within the last 2 years. So depending on when that was, you do want to make sure they have had that blood work done within the last 2 years. Here's the medication question. What's nice about this is if you don't have any medication, you click no and you can continue on. But if you click yes, you can see that the scroll bar popped up, and if we scroll down, here's where you can enter in a medication, the medication name, the dosage, how often you take it, how long have you take it, who prescribed it, and so on. So with that, if your clients have additional medications, all you have to do is check that little box, and it's going to give you another pop-up menu to where you can put in that second medication and a third, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all these so we can complete this application. And then you just answer any other additional questions as well. So here, of course, we have a lot of health questions when you're dealing with a long-term care policy, right? So again, every time you're sitting face-to-face or even on a webinar with your clients, you have to go through and read all these questions in detail of whether or not they have all these. And again, if you click yes to something, it's always going to pop up to where they're going to need an additional information from you or from your client regarding that condition. So it's really user-friendly that way, as if you don't need it, it's not going to show there and waste your time. It's only available when you do have a condition where you need to have some additional information too. So it's very, very easy to use that way. And here, then you go ahead and put the height and your weight, of course. And do you have any unplanned weight change? No. And any other questions, yes or no as well. So here we are cruising along this application. We're asking each client each and every question, and we continue on again with some more health history here. So I just want to show you how easy it is to use, and this is really it. You're reading these questions to your clients, answering yes or no. If they answer yes, it again pops up and asks for some additional information. If not, you just continue to move on throughout the application. Now we've reached our selection of benefits area. Now, Mutual of Omaha offers 2 products, the Secure and the Custom. So here is where you're choosing, depending on the quote that you propose to your clients, the Secure or Custom. We here at GoldenCare love the Custom Solution plan. So we typically quote the Custom Solution. So that's where we're going here. Then it's just like the selection of benefits on your quote. You're going to go ahead and enter in all of your benefits that you sold to your client. Then whether or not they want inflation or not. And if they're choosing a different level of inflation, you can do that as well. Here is some other lifetime buy-up options. So they only grow for the number of years that you have the inflation. Otherwise, it's an automatic lifetime inflation. Now, I'm not going to go into benefit details very much because we do have a webinar, a pre-recorded training, and we also have live trainings as well on the Mutual of Omaha software and product as well. So that will go over all the details of the product if you're not familiar. The next here is just some of your additional benefits. And you can just go on, depending on the benefits that you quoted, you continue on with the selection of benefits. The next section here is protection against unintended lapse. If they choose to designate you can see that additional information pops up. This is where they can put their son or daughter in, or maybe a neighbor, or whoever they want to designate to get notified in case they lapse their premiums. If they don't want to elect anybody, you just check I do not elect and continue on with the application. Here is where they want to know where they're signed the application. So I'm in Plymouth, Minnesota, so that's where we're going to assign it here. And the next one here, even though it's not a yellow highlighted area, we always encourage agents to check this box. This box basically allows the underwriters to tell you if your client was rated and the reason for the rating, or if they were declined, the reason why they were declined. So this is important because this way you can help your clients, if they were declined, you can help them with an appeal, or maybe just pivot to another carrier or product line that can help them due to that declination. So that's always a nice feature, even though, again, it's not a highlighted area, you might miss it. So we always try to stress and point this out that you do want to fill that out to get that additional release of information. And finally, here's a producer question for you, just making sure that you read and answered all those questions to your clients complete and accurately. Now we're into the premium information section, and this is new for Mutual of Omaha. I shouldn't say new. It started pretty much the beginning of 2020, where Mutual of Omaha no longer accepts initial premium with an application. So when you fill out an application, there's no premium that you have to submit with any application anymore. And so with that, it changes the effective date options. Because there's no money at the time of application, it's only at the time of issue, those are your effective date options. So you can either check the date the policy is issued, or if you're doing a replacement, you can request a specific effective date depending on when that replacement is going to go into effect. So for the most part, if you're not replacing, it's always going to be that date the policy is issued will be the effective date. Now, the recurring premium, depending on what mode you're selling in, if you're doing monthly, annually, semi-annually, or quarterly, that's the modal premium that you want to enter into here. Now, if you are doing a monthly premium and you click monthly, you're going to see additional information pops up where you can put in a bank and routing number so they have that automatic EFT withdrawal every month for their premium. If you do something other than monthly, you can put any other mode in there as well and put your premium in and move on. The next section here is the authorization to disclose information. If you maybe have somebody who had medical records under another name, that's where you'd put it in here. And they always want to know the birth date as well if you did have that other name associated. Finally, we've reached the producer statement page. This producer statement page, you just have to answer all the questions. If you weren't in the physical presence, you can easily put in a webinar and phone. That's how you met with your clients there. And is this coverage written on yourself or your partner or someone else? Finally, they want to know what rating that you quoted your clients. And most of the time it's going to be select, unless if it's due to a height and weight issue where you're putting in a different class, or a health condition of some kind that you already know it's going to be a class 1 or maybe even a preferred option. Here's that replacement question. It's not. And finally, down here, is there a second producer? Mutual of Omaha does allow splitting applications. So if you do have a split, it'll pop in an additional information where you can put in that other person that you're splitting the application with. And you just have to make sure this COM percentage share equals 100 between you as the agent and the second agent. You can actually even go a third producer, again, as long as that combination of the commission share totals 100%, you're good to go. And I'm just going to put in me alone, and I get the full 100%. And put in my phone number. And if you want to designate somebody else to be a contact for this application, you can go ahead and fill that out. If you take care of your business and want to be notified if there's any changes or notifications, then you just click no and go ahead and continue on. And that brings us back to this application information. And now you can see the status has changed from incomplete to complete and ready to sign. So now I want to show you how easy it is to actually do the signature process with your clients. Now, I recommend that you stay on the line with your clients when you're doing a webinar phone conversation with them, because it's actually really quick when they get that email. So all you have to do is click Request Signatures, and you're going to Policy Holder here. And if she's sitting with you, you can certainly have her click on Sign and go through that way. But if it's a webinar or over the phone presentation, all you have to do is click on Email. And you would normally email this to your client, but because I can show you, I'm going to email it to me as I'm going to be the client. And so I just sent that email out, and you can see the status here has changed to emailed. And now me as the agent, I can either wait for the client to sign, or I can go ahead and sign it myself. But you know what? The email has already come in from the client. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that over so you can take a look at what that looks like. So what it's going to say is it's going to say your insurance application. Now, with this, this is a simple little email that they're going to get. That's why I encourage you to stay online with them, because all they need to do is click on that application. And here is the last 4 of the social and their date of birth, which I'm going to have to go back here and take a look real quick. Most people, obviously, your clients are going to know their date of birth, but since I made a mock application, I just needed to remember what the date of birth was. So let me go back here, make sure you're seeing everything. So we got the last 4 and the date of birth, and now we just authenticate. And this brings them to the important documents. This is exactly what your clients are getting to sign their applications. So now you can advise your clients. There's going to be 2 documents that are in blue lettering. The first one is the important documents. You must click on both of these in order to advance to signing the application. And this first one is going to give you everything. You'll see it's a very large document, well over 100 pages. In this case, it's 143 pages. But what it has is the things you need to know before you buy long-term care. It has the outline of coverage. It's got even the shopper's guide to long-term care. So lots of things. You can advise them if they want. They can download this document and read it at a later time, so they have it. Otherwise, they can close out of that window and bring them back to the important documents. The next one then is just click on electronic signature consent form. This is a 2-page document that is just confirming that they are consenting to that e-signature process. And now that we've opened both of these 2 documents, we can go ahead and check these 2 boxes over here. Before, they were grayed out and it wasn't allowing us to check those until we physically opened these 2 documents here. So now your client can go ahead and click on Sign Application. They can go page by page if they'd like and go through the entire application if they want to. However, you can also advise them to, when they see that first yellow box, go ahead and click on Sign, and it's going to go ahead and digitally stamp their application. Now, again, they can click on Next and go to each and every page, but if they want to speed up the process, they can just click on Next Signature, and it will take them exactly where they need to sign. Again, click the Sign button, it's going to digitally sign that application. Then we'll go to next signature again, sign again, one more time, and I think we have one more time. And now we've finished the process. Now here's the key to this e-application. Don't let your clients just close this out at this point. They do actually have to click on the word finished in order to save and complete the signature process. So even though it looks like the signatures are there and it's all good, it's not finished until they click finished. So once they click finish, they're going to get this e-signature that you have successfully signed the application. Now they can go ahead and close out that window. So let me go back here, go back in, and now I had to refresh my screen, but that status now changed to signed. So now the policyholder has signed the application. All that's left here is me as the agent to sign the app. I simply just can click on sign, and I'm going to go right to the next signature. And I'm going to go right to the next. Sometimes you got to scroll down, click on sign, go to the last signature here, click on signed, and here's my finish button. I'm going to go ahead as the agent, click on finished, and now you can see that both of the applications are signed and it's already been submitted to the back office for review. Now the back office is us here at GoldenCare. We're going to look through that application, make sure everything looks good, make sure there's not a hidden field decline, because we don't want anyone to get declined through the underwriting process if we can prevent it. So we'll kind of scrub through the app, make sure it looks good, and then we go ahead and submit it to Mutual of Omaha for processing. And that's as simple as that. You've submitted or completed and did signatures for the Mutual of Omaha application. And with that, that's all I have for today. You can see just how simple that Mutual of Omaha e-application is. I encourage you to go in there, play around in that sandbox, get familiar with it. And you know what? Customers are usually pretty understanding, especially for your first one. If you tell them up front, hey, this is my first electronic application with Mutual of Omaha, I hope you can bear with me a little. I'm sure they'll understand. So once you get the hang of it more and more, you're going to find that it's so much easier than paper applications. And there's no worry about writing neat to make sure it's legible or anything like that, because it's all done electronically and typed up nicely. So with that, I want to thank you all for attending this afternoon. If you do have questions, please give us a call here at GoldenCare at 800-842-7799. Again, also check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com. But once again, thank you so much for attending and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Check out our website, goldencareagent.com, or give us a call at 800-842-7799.